in a way of learning. So, just be ready to learn, accept any new tasks. So anything that comes to you is a learning opportunity. And it can further your knowledge. So I think that's really key. Just be open to any new opportunity within the workplace. Be approachable.
So the first question is, can you tell us a bit about yourself and your career to date, please?
Yeah, sure. So I started out, pretty much left school, at the end of high school. Started out in a modern apprenticeship back then. So that was in mechanical engineering, as a fitter machinist. So it's a fairly small engineering company, and really looking into manual machining.
Okay.
We did have some CNCs in there, but kind of going in as an apprentice, kind of, doing all the basic stuff, and really just being taught on the manual side. So looking back, it was kind of, let's say, kind of a tough but steep learning experience there. A really old school workshop.
Traditional
Yeah,
toolmaking apprenticeship.
yeah, yeah. So they're not. I suppose they're not like that much these days, but it was really good experience. So what was really good there, they kind of took on a lot of engineers, and invested in the younger apprentices. So they kind of had this pipeline of development coming through. So
Yep.
I think looking back, kind of a lot of companies try and do that today. They were kind of ahead of their time, really, and no real strategy to do that, but it just kind of was a natural thing. So as I came through my apprenticeship, they were kind of older apprentices that just qualified maybe the last year, and maybe 5 years ago had qualified. So there's a lot of people on hand to mentor and help me. So that was a really good thing. So that was, I was there, kind of qualified as an engineer through them. I then joined a steel plant, uh, quite a big steel plant there, and went on into the machine shop there. So kind of working with people that'd been there their whole lives, really. So they knew no different. They kind of were brought up in that environment, and stayed there till retirement. So when it came to some kind of experiences, to some challenges, do we need to improve the efficiency of the workshop, the workflow, kind of the environment. It was very tricky, but it was that, again, that was a good experience there. I think we spent around 7 to 8 years in that environment.
Okay.
which was really good. I then got offered to this very, very small contracting company in the same steel plant, to go and kind of help them, and they just want a contract on the steel plant.
Okay.
Kind of go and run the business, really, really at the beginning from a safety standpoint. So it got to a size where they kind of needed management on the risk assessments, kind of looking at work permits, that kind of thing. That kind of grew really quickly, in the space of 1 year. I was there for 1 year. Um, that went across to process improvements, in the end, HR topics, pay, all these things. So it was kind of, that was a really, it was a really good experience to, outside of engineering, if that makes sense.
All the commercial aspects and
Yeah,
operations.
yeah, and then go on to kind of tender for contracts for new jobs, and different locations. So that was really interesting. Kind of going from 4 employees to 22 in like 10 months.
wow.
So
Wow.
that was really good, really good experience. But again, what the learning there was, what to do, and then really just taking the learnings from what not to do. That really helped going forward. So things you wouldn't do next time, or what you see other people do. So and then I left there, and actually went back into kind of another workshop environment, a bit like where I did my apprenticeship right at the beginning. And that was with new contacts, new experience, where I kind of mentored apprentices, and kind of looking for new work as well for that business. So went back there, and then actually relocated down to Poole in Dorset.
Okay.
I was there for 8 years. Joined Honeywell Analytics, as a manufacturing engineer for a 3-month temporary contract.
10 to 8 years.
And I was there for 5 years. So
Okay.
yeah, multiple projects, lots of project work, and then really just working within their operating system, so the Honeywell operating system, where all the things I'd learned previously kind of had names and different terminologies. So it was kind of really interesting that the way I was taught and was working was kind of efficient, and then I just kind of took that and rapidly expanded with things. So that was a really good experience. From that, then I was approached by my current company, Carlisle,
Okay.
to help support them with the structure within their operating system, which is called Carlisle Operating System. So yeah, I've had various roles, experiences with this company, and it's been almost 8 years now. So they have a really good emphasis on kind of attracting, retaining, and developing talent.
Good.
So it's a good company, yeah. And it's quite a nice, I think, come from like a really small engineering firm to kind of a corporate
Honeywell, yeah,
big company.
huge company. Yeah.
So yeah,
Cool. Can you tell us a little bit about Carlisle? What do they do?
yeah. When I first started, they kind of had 4 divisions, so kind of diversifying in loads of areas, different sectors. So one was like kind of brake friction, so kind of big brake systems, like JCB tractors, all these different things, down to medical aerospace
Okay.
division as well. So there's 2 separate divisions there. Another one we had kind of the spray for aerospace, um, for vehicles, different things. So like spray systems. And then the one that we're left with now, so Carlisle have actually sold those 3 divisions, but the biggest
Okay.
division is purely building materials.
All right.
So it started off as a kind of a rubber company. It's a bit like Continental and different things, but they really focus on roofing. So it's purely now like a leading supplier. They've got innovative building envelope products, so kind of a system that goes with building a house, a property.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of a big in
It's
that.
different to what I thought they did, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's kind of, and now it's expanding even more within that. So we kind of have weatherproofing technologies, and they just kind of like, the strategy for this is kind of looking at acquisitions and just getting some really powerful players in that business and bringing them in.
Cool. No, thank you very much.
Yeah.
So more into questions are regarding your career, Martyn, or kind of what advice you'd give and things like that. So looking back, what advice would you give your younger self, especially when you were just starting out in your career?
Okay. Yeah. Good question. Back to that, to the beginning, and I think my dad actually gave me some advice when I first went into that environment. So it's kind of, if you're kind of looking for something to do, and you're thinking you're not really doing much, that just pick up a brush and start sweeping, right? So,
Okay.
be busy, do something, be proactive.
Yeah.
And there was a lot to sweep up back then. It was a lot of mess. So I think it was good advice, and really I take it, so my advice today, kind of on that theme, on that topic. I'd offer similar advice, but really put it in a way of learning. So just be ready to learn, accept any new tasks. So anything that comes to you is a learning opportunity, and it can further your knowledge. So I think that's really key. Just be open to any new opportunity within the workplace. Be approachable, and really approachable and accountable for many tasks, because unfortunately not everybody is willing to do that, and I think it really helps.
Okay. On learning and skills and knowledge, is there anything you wish, in terms of skills and knowledge, anything you wish you developed earlier in your career?
Yeah, I think it goes back to it's the same thing, but in terms of uh, kind of continuous improvement, right? So back then we kind of did these things. There was no terminology, or it was just the way we worked. But if someone could really explain the plan, do, check, act, so it's the PDCA cycle, it kind of embodies the advice I gave. So, you know, you take something, learn from it. What did you learn? Is it what you expected, or is it maybe not? And then you kind of try again. So you've learned something either way, whether it's good or bad. So PDCA, if someone really kind of walked through that methodology and you know, explained it really what it meant, I think that would be great, because it's really important. I think you can use that for everyday problem solving, which is key for
Yep.
any engineer. Actually, let's say any individual in any workplace, not just
Pretty
engineering,
much. Yeah.
all the way to strategic thinking and planning. So it's a really key, simple tool that helps with everything.